anyone who is still blaming Susan Sarandon for anything bad that happens in the world, this is a tremendous grievance of mine. I don't have it readily available, but I've written at least 2 satirical pieces about this. And yeah, just the fact that we're still doing this.
We're trying to get. We've been trying to get her on. Everybody, put the word out. We'd love to have Susan come on the podcast. She's just
Susan. I met you many years ago. I was sitting a few rows behind you at the Canucks Rangers game, Game 6, Vancouver. You were there. You were lovely and very nice, everyone. And you looked great, even though you weren't wearing makeup. You were beautiful. That's what I'm saying. So I know you don't remember me, but I'm sure they were. I'm sure they also made the trip back to New York for Game 7 to see the Rangers. Well, yeah, they were, and they were so. Look, they were very nice and very lovely. And the truth is, in Canada, the people are in general just nice to each other around you. It's so different from South Florida. It's like it really is being in another world.
Well, hey, I mean, knowing how powerful she is politically, you might want to be nice to her.
I'm terrified. What happens if I don't please Susan Sarandon? Like the wrath will come down.
Well, Susan now has like one of those like Jesus candles, where she has like the halo over her head.
Saint Susan.
No, it's almost like they're going to like a gospel church where everybody's like, hallelujah, I've got you, And I'm just thinking,
Okay, so all right, next after Susan Sarandon.
All right, just a few more here. Anyone upset that I have had that? Anyone upset that I have guests on my YouTube channel who may decide to smoke at the end of a long, hard work day? This is actually something that happened to me. And if I ever run by anybody again who reacts like that, I'm going to have to handle them in kind because, good show of solidarity. I did a show once on Assange, and I was talking to somebody. It was 10:30, 11 o'clock, wherever this person was. They were very kind to join me because of the time difference. I believe he's based in Berlin. So he had a smoke while he was talking to me about a story he wrote on Assange. It's a journalist I won't name, and somebody objected to it, like it was like improper or it sounded like they were enforcing the Hays Code of the 1930s. It was like
what country were they from? I'm just curious. Like that had to be an American, right?
No. He's I think he might be from the UK, I believe.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, that's kind of a little sad to me that there is like
so prim and proper.
Yeah, but they're not. They use the C word for everything, and I appreciate that.
That's a bloody lie.
No, it's not. They do. And now my son has picked that up. He uses it in the same manner, and it's totally funny to me because he says it like they do. I can't quite explain it. Kevin knows.
Awesome. All right. Okay. So when the Justice Department raids Project Veritas, and I have to defend them to uphold my principles, and it's the least crappy thing, the least shitty thing to really embrace my grievances that they've done in the history of their disreputable and disgusting organization. I mean, honestly, like the Biden administration, I mean, what are you doing? Like, and the thing I'm talking about here, honestly, I mean it. Like, I know what everyone's hearing, and they're thinking of Acorn. They're thinking of all the like stupid bullshit they've ever pulled on progressives. And I hear you. But in this case, it is incredible to me how like reasonable and ethical they were. They bought what they thought was Ashley Biden's diary. And then when they couldn't authenticate it, they didn't just go ahead and spill it all over the internet. They handed it to law enforcement, and they still got raided in an FBI raids that, are just, the same family of atrocious developments in the attack on journalism. I mean, what they were doing, there should have been some kind of coordination around it. And look, they're jerks, but the jerks get to be protected by the First Amendment too. That's
what Noam Chomsky says.
Yes, I didn't think Trump should be deplatformed. I didn't think Alex Jones should be deplatformed. I think they're disgusting, and yet I think the best weapon against those people is better information and better sources. I am very averse to censorship.
I honestly think that listen, it's only a year in, but it's almost like the Biden administration wants to be more authoritarian than the Trump administration was. It's like they're really it's like, I can do you one better, baby. You watch.
Just honestly, at this point, I feel like that's just the direction it's going, regardless of who's sitting there. It's just that's the direction we're going. Is it's getting more and more fascist, oligarchic, authoritarian.
Well, I think that
and the labor uprising is swelling and getting bigger and bigger, and eventually it's going to break.
There's going to be
the authoritarianism is nonpartisan.
Yeah.
Let's be very clear on it. It's just all of these things. The truth is, we lost 4, 5, and 6 our amendments from the Patriot Act, and Obama had an opportunity to restore that and chose not to do so. So we've seen incredible infringements on all of our liberties.
Hey, look, it was very financially beneficial not to do it.
I'm just saying it's nonpartisan, and I really just think it's getting worse and worse. And yeah, maybe it would be even worse with Trump. Like maybe it would be faster, like the Band-Aids, like just pulling it off quicker instead of like this slow thing. But we're getting more authoritarian. Period. And the way that they've taken over the judicial system is the most concerning part, because that was really the recourse. That was the last straw recourse for so many of these things, and now they are completely partisan. And that to me, going back to the beginning, the judiciary aspect is a massive problem.
Yeah.
And I don't think it gets enough attention. And I think that the Democrats rubber stamped every single conservative jurist that Trump appointed. And, they are equally to blame for the mess that we're in. And yet nobody really talks about that.
They go back and forth between authoritarianism and totalitarianism. It is absolutely out of sight, out of mind. And again, that's why I think the coalescing of independent media along with the labor movement is vitally important, because this is kind of like it's like our last hurrah in many ways.
Well, I do think, and that's been the recurring theme throughout everything tonight, and we always bring up is the connection is labor, because it's really a working people against the man. That's what it's always been. That's what it is. That's the problem. The man is just now a group of people that are very like Jeff Bezos. He must have micro penis. He must have micro penis.
He may.
He must have something real. I don't know.
Or he has a dysfunctional penis.
So that might be too. I don't know.
Sorry, Jeff. You want to censor us more, but you can keep working on it. But that's something that Crystal pointed out when she was on earlier, and Carol Roth was really in agreement with her about a lot of these issues. And I always like to say, there are a lot of differences between progressives and libertarians, but there are a lot of things that we agree on as well. And the ability to come together on the issues that we agree on.
I'm a progressive libertarian.
Yeah. Well, Kyle Kalinske likes to say he's a libertarian leftist.
Or I say I'm a libertarian socialist. I don't know. I'm very pro civil liberties.
We agree on the corruption factor. We agree that our civil liberties must be protected. Wars are bullshit. Living wage is better than welfare. Our environment must be protected. The big difference is one is almost totally free market, and the other believes that the government should work more for us. And
I think we need to take care of the least of these.
That's true.
I think that is inherently crucial to our survival. I don't think we survive as species without understanding that. And that, to me, that's what's woke. That's real. Like, to me, when you understand that we cannot succeed without caring for our least of these, you're just not on the same page. No. Like, you're not going to get it. And that's really, to me, that's the difference. When it comes to live and civil liberties, I couldn't care less. I am as 100% stay out of my business, stay out of my, my way, my house, none of your business. But how do we not take care of each other? Like, so that's why I say libertarian socialist. I don't even know what that's the thing. That's me.
It works.
All right, so I have like 5 more. If you'll let me throw those out here. Anyone claiming to be a victim of the Havana syndrome?
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
You haven't heard of this?
No.
Oh my. Okay. Oh wait. I'll try to make this quick because it's not a show about the Havana syndrome. But these people who are assigned to embassies, particularly in like Cuba.
I was going to say, we're really close to that. We should know this.
Yeah. And who claim that there's like some microwave or super sonar or electronic weapon devices that are being targeted to them.
Diplomats that serve in other. I did see this.
Yeah. And there's like either the Russians are behind it, or maybe the Chinese are behind it, whomever might be behind it. And the fact is, we had scientists that looked into this, And I'm pretty sure we came to the understanding it's mating crickets. It's mating crickets. The scientists did a study. There's a noise that these crickets make when they're fucking each other, whatever they're doing. Like, they are doing this to the diplomats are having issues with the anti-imperialist crickets in Havana and trying to turn themselves into victims. And so that is something that I cannot handle. Obama has a podcast with Bruce Springsteen that's called Renegades. You know about that?
Own it, my friend. Own it.
Okay.
I've been telling you, the neo-lib.
That is a cringy. It's also bad because
don't even get me started. Kevin. Bruce is my favorite musician, so it's
he's a favorite of mine too. Wrecking Ball is an incredible album.
I do like Wrecking Ball, but now you're showing us how young you are. But that's okay.
Well, I think his best album. Well, here's the thing. I actually
like Wrecking Ball a lot.
I spoke to him on the phone once, and he did ask me, "What's your favorite album?" And I said,
"This was long before Wrecking Ball existed." By the way,
no, it wasn't that. It was this was in this was 2015.
It wasn't that long ago. Why did I think it was when you were a kid?
No. It was 2015. And listen, my father had just moved into Red Bank. If you know I don't know how well you know New Jersey, that particular area. So it's right next to Rumson where he lives. And so he's at the same place. And my father calls me on the phone and he's like, "Yeah, somebody wants to say hello." And he says, "Hey, Pete, it's Bruce." And I'm like,
"You can't do
it. It is you." And we just got into this conversation, and I told him that I thought Darkness on the Edge of Town was without question his best album. And it's amazing for somebody who works so hard for so long to always be the outsider.
Kevin's
and always
so regretting mentioning Bruce Springsteen at this point.
No, but it's a very important point because he always was this guy who always prided himself on never forgetting his roots. And then just the other day, he sells his catalog for $500 million.
Listen, one of the best concerts I ever saw was the E Street Band here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. It was fantastic. It was amazing.
Right. This isn't a criticism of the music. It's a criticism
and it was the same year that the Chicago Teachers Union was on strike against Mayor Rahm Emanuel, and he didn't say a word in solidarity with the teachers while he was on stage performing music from Wrecking Ball, while Tom Morello got up on stage with him and did Ghost of Tom Joad, which was amazing. And that's still, actually, Tom Morello gets that song now because I don't think you can actually listen to the Bruce Springsteen version anymore after what.
Let me ask you something. Was Rahm Emanuel on the stage when they did the Ghost of Tom Joad? Was that one? It's almost like it's like, Bruce, you do understand that.
No, the cognitive disconnect is you because you can't accept this. All right, Kevin, move on.
Yes. Final two are just, entertainment/media related, but fun ones to end on. If you haven't watched the movie, the TV show, or the comedy special, but you have an opinion about why people should hate it, I really do not have time for you. And
any of them, any type of thing at all.
Any of them. I don't want to. I assume that it's a grift. I'll throw out for good measure lefty podcaster feuds. We won't get into it right now, but
we could.
But we've always tried to stay out of all that nonsense, even though we've taken.
But there is one comment that I do want to make on it, and I wish most people would wake up to it at this point. And we've seen, as I'm sure you have, there are people who literally built channels off of just commenting on Cenk and Jimmy. And so I look at it this way: it's like, have you not figured out yet that the algorithm is designed to make us hate each other? That the goal is to make sure we don't figure out a way to get out of this whole thing that we're stuck in right now. If we figure out a way to band together instead of just saying, "Did you see the tweet that this person put out today?" It's like, oh my God. And look, I don't want to name anybody because there's no point. But you know who we're talking about. They're so obvious and they work both ways. There are ones who, work, frankly, they're no different than basically corporate media, the way that they conduct their show. And then it's, you have the ones who are just totally nihilistic and are just like, oh, everything's crap. And, let's just piss on everything. And that's that. And so to me, we agree 1000%. If you have time to be gossiping about other channels, get another gig.
Yeah.
Get another gig.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.